Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Checks and Balances TV. I'm your host, Matthew J. Rettick, and I'm committed to giving you the truth you need to financially succeed. Each week, we'll review the news, check the facts, and provide balanced insight and unbiased advice to help you make critical financial decisions. So let's get up, get energized, and get going and see how today's headlines impact your financial future. The Social Security Administration just celebrated its 75th birthday, ironically coinciding with an earlier than expected monthly deficit. The program has been hurt financially this year due to high unemployment rates and the reduction in payroll taxes used to support the program. Social Security is likely to post surpluses again in 2012 through 2014, but with the more than 78 million baby boomers transitioning into retirement, the program will return to a permanent deficit in 2015. The National Bureau of Economic Research reported that the Great Recession, which began in December of 2007, ended in June of last year. The fear of a double-dip recession is now gone, according to the Bureau, because any new downturn in the economy would be considered a new recession and not a continuation. The Federal Reserve issued a cautious outlook not long ago, noting that the recovery had slowed in recent months. Opposing economists cite the high unemployment rate and weakening housing market as strong signs that the country may experience another recession as early as next year. Okay, so what's really going on here? Let's check the facts using our checks and balances process. For the first time since the 1980s, Social Security is paying out more money in benefits than it's collecting in payroll taxes, to the tune of $29 billion this year. You heard me right, $29 billion. While the program may briefly bounce back if the economy improves, by 2015 it will run at a permanent deficit, impacting future benefits. Now, you may be wondering, how did this all happen? Let's take a brief look at the history of Social Security for a moment. The Social Security program was created back in 1935 as a part of Franklin D. Roosevelt's Social Security Act. The life expectancy back then was only 62. Today, it's 79. In addition, in 1940, there were 159 people working to support every one person receiving benefits. Today, there are only 3. The math just doesn't work anymore. But increased life expectancy and a weak economy are not the only things to blame for this crisis. The federal government has borrowed money from the previous surplus of Social Security funds over the last few decades to pay for other government programs. Now they must begin to repay the money owed to Social Security plus interest, which will add even more to the growing federal deficit. The Social Security Administration believes, however, that it can fix this problem. How? Well, by raising payroll taxes, increasing the retirement age, reducing benefits, or a combination of all 3. So far, no action has been taken, but as you can imagine, something must happen soon in order to save this highly dependent upon program. The National Bureau of Economic Research, the official party that decides when recessions begin and end, recently reported that the Great Recession ended in June of 2009. A recession is when the economy stops growing and begins to decline. Instead of adding jobs, we lose jobs. Instead of companies making money, they make less than the year before. Consumers spend less because they lose confidence or are out of work, so companies make less profit, and round it goes. The most widely accepted definition of a recession is 2 back-to-back quarters of negative gross domestic product, or GDP, which is the measure of a country's overall economic output. A recession is considered over with 2 positive quarters of GDP, which is what happened in the first and second quarters of 2009. However, some economists and scholars, as well as many Americans, would beg to differ. High unemployment, an unstable real estate market, and reduced consumer spending would suggest that a recession is still upon us. The fact of the matter is, with high unemployment, a growing federal deficit, the probability of increased taxes next year, reduced consumer confidence, and the ongoing foreclosure crisis, if we're not still in a recession, it certainly feels like it for many Americans. So, you may be asking yourself, what does all of this mean to me? Well, now that we've checked the facts, let's balance this information using our checks and balances process to determine what action you should take today. Social Security was never intended to be anyone's sole source of income in retirement. However, it's becoming very clear that this monthly check may not supplement your retirement income to the extent you were hoping. While those of you who are receiving or will soon be receiving Social Security benefits should experience little to no interruption, those of you who have several years to go before retirement may need to reconsider the role that this money will play in your overall retirement plan. It's really up to you to follow a plan to save consistently and invest wisely for a financially secure retirement. Your retirement savings is the only income that you can truly count on. As far as the economy and the fear of another recession, many economists argue that a recovery is still underway but moving slowly. As a savvy consumer, we need to learn from our experiences during the recent Great Recession and make sure that our nest egg is not exposed to the same market volatility should another one occur. Okay, so what's the bottom line here? It really comes down to this. The economy has a mind of its own these days. Americans don't seem to know what to think or do. Fear of the unknown has caused many consumers to do nothing, only to watch a large portion of their life savings dwindle away. The need for checks and balances on every financial topic has never been greater. Now more than ever, Americans need help in understanding and implementing the steps they should take in order to make successful financial decisions. It's time to take back control of your finances and financial future. In this week's CBTV poll, we asked Americans an important question. Where do you get the majority of your information when making investment decisions? 23% of you said that you let your advisor make the decision for you. When it comes to your personal finances, don't leave it solely to someone else. You need to do your own research, check the facts, balance the information, and then partner with a true advisor to make an informed financial decision. When it comes to your money, you need to be involved. In our On the Street segment, we travel the country to ask Americans what they think about an important financial topic. For this week's segment, we asked people about the overall confusion in many of today's financial products. Let's take a look at what America had to say. Let me ask you, do you feel that most financial investments and products today are complicated for the American consumer to understand?
Very much so.
Why do you think so many of them are complicated?
Well, I think finance itself, making the right decisions, is complicated. It requires a balance of what do I need today versus what do I need tomorrow, and can I save?
Do you think that many financial products or investments are complicated for the average person to understand?
Oh yeah, lots of them are.
And why do you think it's that way?
I don't think people have ever really been educated. You know, there's no, they don't teach in high school, and a lot of people go through college and don't know, and you know, they think they're too complex and they'll just find someone to take care of it for them.
Do you think that most investment products today are somewhat complicated for the average person to really understand?
Extremely. I think you have to have a master's in finance to even get a grip on what's going on in today's economy. Have any source of an idea of what you got to do to be able to retire. It's ridiculous. So the average American is at an extreme deficit to try to personally figure out how to manage their own finances.
Do you feel that most financial investments or products are complicated for the American consumer to understand?
Yeah, I would say that, and not a whole lot of explanation is given to break it down for the common investor.
Wow, that was eye-opening, wasn't it? And the 2 points that really stand out for me from those interviews are, number one, we have not been educated in school or college about finances or investments, and we normally leave it up to someone else to take care of those decisions for us, which can be a big problem. And number two is that there is not a whole lot of explanation given to the common investor today, and what a shame that is. The fact of the matter is that there are hundreds of investment options available today, and you need unbiased financial information when investing your hard-earned money. Quit relying on hot stock tips and financial products that you don't fully understand. Also, if you can't afford to lose any money, then you need to change your investment strategy to be more consistent with your age and risk tolerance. For Matt's weekly tip, tool, or technique, I'm going to give you an investing strategy that's been around for decades. It's called the Rule of 100. This is a simple yet wise rule to help you determine how much of your money should be exposed to financial risk. So this is how the Rule of 100 works. Take the number 100 and subtract your age from it. The number you're left with is the maximum amount of your nest egg that should be exposed to market risk. So for example, if you're 60 years old, Up to 40% of your portfolio would be invested in the stock market to optimize your long-term growth potential. The other 60% should be invested more conservatively so that there is little to no risk of losing any of your principal. Now is the time to realize that neither the government nor your employer is responsible for your financial success or failure in life. You are. No one will ever care as much about your financial well-being as you do. You must seek the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth about any financial topic or product before investing your hard-earned money. Check the facts and find the balanced truth before making any financial decision. Mark your calendars for the release of the next installment in our Truth About series. This upcoming episode will air in November and is on the Truth About annuities. You will learn the pros and cons, both sides of the coin on this important financial product, so you'll know if it's the right investment for you. And be sure to friend our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel to gain exclusive access to our library of viral videos and the lighter side of finance. For more information on how to become a checks and balances savvy consumer and to download any of our free reports, visit the download section of our website. Also, be sure to get your copy of the Checks and Balances Financial Decision-Making System, a free report that teaches you how to apply the checks and balances process in your own life. And while you're on the site, remember your voice counts. Be sure to take this week's poll and visit our Tell Us What You Think section to share your opinion. Make your voice heard. And finally, remember that only you can control your financial future. You can succeed. You just need confidence and determination. I'm Matthew J. Rettick from Checks and Balances TV. Be sure to join us next week when we'll discuss how you can achieve financial independence. Until then, spend less, save more, believe in yourself, and make it happen.